Hi everyone, welcome to Secrets Behind the Stars. All the details are in this video, and if you enjoy these deep dives into what really happens behind the scenes, don't forget to like, subscribe, and consider joining to support the channel. Now, let's dive into what unfolded last night, a night that none of us saw coming, a night that left thousands of hearts clenched in fear. When the city had already slipped into that late-night hush, an unexpected shock rippled through the industry and beyond. Beloved actress Cemre Arda was involved in a serious car accident while driving home after a long day of filming the series Esaret. What began as whispered reports from a few witnesses grew into a storm of headlines, each more urgent than the last. Within minutes, social media flooded with worry, with messages from fans scattered across time zones, all desperate for answers. The initial accounts described a city hammered by a brutal storm. The downpour hadn't let up for hours, and streets had transformed into slick sheets that reflected the harsh glow of traffic lights. People said the rain felt like needles against windshields, the wipers fighting to keep pace, visibility narrowing to a tunnel. Cemre, drained after a demanding day on set, kept her speed careful and her focus steady. But the weather had its own plans. In a blink, one of those heart-stopping blinks that changes everything, she lost control. Her car swerved, tires sliding, and slammed into the guardrails with a metallic thud that neighbors would later say echoed across blocks. Within moments, passers-by rushed toward the twisted lights. Some were trembling, some were already on their phones with emergency operators, and others crouched near the driver's side window, voices soft and urgent, urging Cemre to keep breathing, to stay with them. The sirens weren't far behind. Paramedics and police arrived almost at the same time, creating a protective circle around the scene. They spoke to Cemre, assessed her consciousness, stabilized her where she sat, and then transferred her gently into the ambulance. A couple of shaky clips, shot from a distance by bystanders, soon surfaced online. Cemre was conscious, but disoriented, her expression dazed, her body rigid with the jolt of adrenaline. The sight drew a collective gasp from her fans. She was taken to a nearby private hospital, where a specialized medical team acted with sharp, quiet efficiency. They ran scans and tests, listened to her breathing, checked her vitals again and again, and did not rush a single conclusion. Hours passed, those heavy hours that stretch like a lifetime when you're waiting for news, and finally, an update: no severe injuries. The doctors diagnosed a minor contusion and a muscle strain, side effects of the sudden force of the collision. Still, the team insisted on keeping her under observation. The recommendation was clear: she needed a few days to rest, to steady, to heal without pressure. Safety first, they said, and everyone who loved her silently agreed. News reached Gökberk Yildirim almost immediately. As her partner in life and a constant presence in her professional circle, he felt the shock like a punch to the chest. He kept his composure in public, but those who know him say his hands shook as he picked up the phone. He broke his silence on social media with a message that immediately cut through the noise. He wrote with warmth and restraint, noting that the entire Esaret family was shaken, that Cemre was stable and receiving careful monitoring, and that now, more than anything, she needed patience and love. His words spread at lightning speed, turning the chaos of speculation into a single current of collective hope. Comments and reposts poured in by the thousands, each one a small flame of solidarity. The production team behind Esaret stepped forward soon after. They didn't hide behind vague phrases or cast a shroud over the situation. Their statement was respectful and firm: Cemre is a consummate professional and also a deeply cherished person on set. They confirmed that shoots would be rescheduled to give her space to recover fully, to return only when her body and mind felt ready. They ended with a simple thought that resonated widely: her well-being matters above all. As the night wore on, the online conversation only grew. On X, on Instagram, on TikTok, people dissected the few details available, rewatched the clips and slowed them down, exchanged theories about the conditions of the road, and shared fervent messages of support. Celebrities chimed in with gentle words and good wishes. But something else stood out, something beautiful and telling: the outpouring of love from Spanish-speaking fans. Many said they discovered Esaret thanks to recommendations on forums and posts that traveled across borders. They spoke of how fast they fell for Cemre's emotional clarity on screen, for her grace, for the way she seemed to carry sunlight with her even in complicated roles. Some said hearing about the accident felt like it had happened to a friend, a strange and modern truth in a world where screens build bridges we walk across daily. Before we continue, a quick reminder. If you like keeping up with stories like these, if you want to be the first to hear the inside details and understand the real emotions behind the headlines, subscribe to Secrets Behind the Stars, tap that bell, and consider hitting join to help us keep bringing you exclusive, high-quality content. Your support makes all of this possible. By morning, as the rain finally thinned to a whisper, a brief statement came from Cemre's official representative. The message was short, but it carried everything fans needed. She's recovering well, progress is positive, and if things keep going as they are, she may be able to return home in a few days. They conveyed her gratitude, how moved she was by the avalanche of messages, how deeply touched she felt learning about fans who stayed awake all night just to refresh the feed and look for good news. Most importantly, they shared that Cemre wanted calm, not chaos. She felt strong. She felt hopeful. She felt held by the care reaching her from every corner of the world. Meanwhile, whispers grew into stories about Gökberk making quiet visits and standing firmly by her side, steering clear of cameras and attention, centering only on her comfort. Those who understand the connection between them saw in his measured words a reflection of their bond, steady, loyal, honest. He did not feed rumors or invite drama, he focused on the only thing that mattered, Cemre's peace. In doing so, he became a calming force for the fandom too, allowing everyone to breathe again. Inside the hospital, the routine became consistent. Nurses checked on her at regular intervals, ensured she rested, and adjusted her care plan as needed. Cemre, always known for her discipline, followed every suggestion. She let herself sleep, let herself accept help, let herself slow down, a rare permission in a profession that often demands endless stamina. Her team coordinated schedules in the background. Scenes were reshuffled, timing reimagined, commitments paused. Not cancelled, just carefully rearranged with the full weight of empathy. It's not every day a production steps back with such clarity, but it spoke volumes about how respected she is by everyone who works with her. In the hours that followed, more thoughtful posts emerged from cast and crew, and the conversation online shifted from fear to gratitude. People began writing about what Cemre's performances meant to them, the layers she brought to Esaret, the way she made even quiet moments resonate. Some said the phrase "Força Cemre" with a fervor that felt like a public prayer. The phrase crossed borders, languages, and platforms. Not as a hashtag, just as a shared heartbeat. The attention from Spanish-speaking fans didn't wane. It continued like a tide, gently and powerfully, with messages that were personal and earnest. They talked about staying up late for new episodes, about recommending the series to their families, about how Turkish dramas had opened a door into stories that felt both different and familiar. Cemre, they said, was the reason they kept watching. She made complex emotions feel intimate, she made distance feel smaller. Their voices joined countless others, carrying warmth from Madrid, Barcelona, Buenos Aires, Mexico City, and so many places in between. Back on set, friends spoke quietly about how they'd felt the night before. One team member described standing under a canopy as the storm pelted the pavement, scrolling for updates with a knot in their stomach. Another said the first wave of relief washed over them only after Gökberk's message. There's a kind of kinship that takes root on a set like Esaret, one that grows under long hours, shared challenges, little victories, and the unglamorous grind that never makes it to the screen. That night reminded the team what really binds them, not just the work, but the care they have for one another. Of course, with any event that unfolds so publicly, there were also rumors. Debates brewed about the production schedule, about the demands placed on performers, about the intensity of filming days and the toll it takes. Though the production had already pledged to adjust for Cemre, the moment sparked broader conversations. What do we expect from our stars? How much do they give before it becomes too much? These questions lingered, and maybe that's a good thing. Maybe nights like these invite us to hold space for the human beings behind the spotlight, to remember that the glow we admire is carried by real people in real bodies. Through it all, Cemre's circle stayed unified. The reps' updates were clear and consistent. The medical team kept their focus. Gökberk maintained a respectful presence, saying only what needed to be said. And fans, moved by the authenticity of the responses, matched that energy with patience and trust. Not every crisis finds balance so quickly. This one did because the people at the center of it refused to turn it into a spectacle. Now, we want to hear from you. What do you think about what happened? Do you feel the industry sometimes demands too much, pushing actors past safe limits in search of perfection? Would you like Secrets Behind the Stars to dig deeper into what filming schedules really look like for performers working at this pace? Which Turkish celebrities would you like us to follow closely in upcoming videos, to understand not just their careers but the resilience it takes to keep going? Tell us your thoughts in the comments. Share your theories, your experiences, and your messages for Cemre and Gökberk. Every like helps us grow, every subscription keeps this community thriving, and every share brings more people into the conversation. Thank you for spending your time with us, for caring, and for letting these stories bring us closer to the people who make them. We'll keep you posted on Cemre's recovery and on how the Esaret schedule evolves in the coming days. Take care of yourselves, stay safe on these stormy nights, and we'll see you in the next video. This is Secrets Behind the Stars. Signing off for now, with hope in our hearts and our eyes on the brighter days ahead.